Now then, so it's finally happened. We've finally got some more new cards, and that means only one thing, doesn't it? It's six faction, six decks time. If you've not watched one of these videos before, the general idea is I've put together these six decks that I plan to use this season. Obviously, they'll go through some changes, maybe stuff I'm going to do videos on, that kind of thing. This is by no means a meta snapshot or anything like that. This is what I'm personally going to play, and it's kind of there to give you some ideas. And I mean, this is patch day when I'm going to be posting this. Yeah, there's going to be some variations floating about. The meta will not have settled by the time this is posted. So yeah, I think there's a few interesting things to try this patch. I won't go on too long because obviously got to talk about loaded decks, but just quickly, if you do want to support the channel, the membership option is available. Just click the join button below the video and you can get all the information on that. If you don't want to take the monetary option, subscribing, liking, and commenting, and all that kind of stuff really helps me out. So that's always appreciated. So without further ado, I'll go into the decks. So to start off, we have monsters. And this is arguably the deck that I was kind of most excited about when I was thinking about it and everything. So it's a Keltulis big boys kind of list, and the general idea is we're using Witch's Sabbath, which kind of allows us to really pressure for a 2-0, and on red coin this is kind of insane. So what we've got going on is we want to use our good cards early on, so we want to be playing out Wara Quacks to get our Keltulis, maybe we play a Bloody Mistress, Cave Troll, Imlerith into Puga, Ratcatcheress, and buff air up a bit with Relics. And that's a ton of pressure to put out in round one. And then we go into round two, we play Witch's Sabbath. Your opponent naturally isn't going to be playing too many high value things in round one. Obviously against Skellige, this could be a bit annoying because Melcine's a thing, but we have Heatwave for that. So then we can play Witch's Sabbath, assuming they've played 3 units already, and then that'll pull out a collection of Keltulis, Bloody Mistress, Cave Troll, Puga, Ratcatcheress. Three of those five is what we're really aiming for, and yeah, it's just kind of a to win round control. If we don't go for the 2-0, what we can also do is just bleed in a round two and then have Witch's Sabbath in a super short round. Typically, there aren't many decks around that are going to have cards that are going to match the points value of Keltulis, Bloody Mistress, Puga, that kind of thing. It's all good from there, isn't it? It's all good. It does give them doomed, so just need to watch out for that. But yeah, I'm liking the look at this list for sure. I think this is the one that caught my eye the most when I was putting them together and everything like that. Now for NG, I wasn't too sure what to play. There wasn't too many of the new cards that really caught my eye. So I'm just going with a bit of, wholesome assimilate. And so what we've got going on here in terms of the new cards, we've got a Practitioner, which spawns a base copy of the last card that went to your opponent's graveyard on the top of your deck, but it's also an assimilate. Kind of just want to see how that works. I don't expect it's going to be too great, but in terms of the more interesting stuff, we have Lydia, because Lydia seems kind of cool. In terms of for assimilate, it's a 5 for 9 that allows you to play a bronze special card or create a bronze special card from your opponent's graveyard. So we can kind of see how that one goes. Always going to trigger assimilate, always good. We also have the mushy truffle in here, which was something I kind of thought about. Maybe it's good, maybe it's terrible. I don't know, we'll find out. And so the general idea with this is we have Magna Divisions in there to allow us to spawn and play, which will trigger assimilate. And then its order also spawns a Golden Froth, which will also trigger assimilate. How good this is going to be, I don't know. I don't know. It's something to try there. But beyond that, nothing too crazy. We've got Mage Torturers, Artel, Brathens, Triss, the usual suspects. But seems pretty fun. Seems pretty fun. So for now, another list that as soon as I saw Rafard's Vengeance and Meditating Mage, I already had this like formulating in my brain. So what we have going on here is we're looking to set up as many of these meditating mages in around one as we can. So with things like Adelia, Operator, Reinforcements, Mushy Truffle, just generate a ton of meditating mages. Aretusa Adepts can also be put down because they're all triggering patience, so that's going to get quite tall. And then we trigger all those, they all get resilience, maybe carry over 12, 16 points depending on how it goes. And then we have Siege to kind of finish us off because Rafad's Vengeance seems kind of good to be honest. Playing a bronze unit from your hand, draw a card, basically means that we can trigger Siege in one turn. Well, turn after it comes down, but still. And it seems pretty good. We obviously playing it in Pincer Maneuver because I'm absolutely terrified of inconsistency on the draws. And that's pretty much it. Also, Chapter of Wizards. I'm unsure how good this is going to be. It's very expensive, but it plays a Rune Word, and it can also spawn a base copy of the last played Allied Bronze. So that's another meditating mage. So there's a lot going on here. What we're really looking to do is get a lot of carryover with these meditating mages, and then see just kind of a finisher kind of card. Now, I don't think the Scoia'tael list is going to be all that surprising considering I've already been playing Invigorate, but of course it's a hand buff Invigorate list, and this is really because of some of the new cards are quite nice, for a hand buff. Like Watcher of the Valley's really nice. It's a cheap card that lets you benefit from like double up on your hand buff a lot in the same way that Skags does, and a Glace and all the things like that. And then we really just have that kind of stuff going on. We got hand buff in the form of circles, and a smuggler, and Dunker, and our leader. And then what we're really looking to do from that point on is sort of leverage those buffed units to be a lot of pressure on the board. We don't necessarily have to use a Glace like a finisher. Probably want to because she'll be very tall, but we don't have to. It's just a very solid tall unit. Also trying out Philovandrel, I think that's a pretty interesting one because we can kind of out for SK. This is a list that I was also really excited about because I kind of really enjoy playing Melusine and Druids. Um, and I expect this will be quite common, which is also why we're running a squirrel because I think a lot of people will tech against it. So this is a list that I will have to be really cautious with because I think very quickly people are going to start teching against it. Everyone is going to be running a Squirrel or a Javier just to deal with Rogan and Melusine and all those kind of things in Graveyard. But yeah, the general idea is we're doing what Melusine's always done. You play it in round one, you generate a load of value going forwards, and then you can bring it back with Sigdriffers or with Fuchsia, and we generate a ton of rain with Scepter Storms and Vadermaker, and then we generate a million points because these Messenger of the Seas are nothing short of insane, absolutely insane, because it's basically a great sword that also has nice synergy with rain and everything like that. So yeah, I expect this to be very strong because Melusine was already decent. It lost a bit of playability when Nilfgaard became a bit more dominant because it just kind of got controlled and it just kind of got karathied and you didn't really have a plan B beyond getting it. But now with the ability to generate so much rain and get the payoff from so much rain, might be good. Might be good. So we'll have to see with this one. I expect this to be a very, very strong deck and be quite dominant on ladder, to be honest. And that's why I expect the techs against it with things like Squirrel. And to finish us off is Syndicate, but I mean, it's actually using none of the new cards. It's a Collusion passive flora list. I mean, I absolutely love Collusion. I think I've done about a million videos on Collusion because I think it's one of my favorite cards, and I've tried a lot of variations. So we're trying out Hidden Cache passive flora as well. And there's a couple of reasons for this. what I found when I was building it in Pirate's Curve was I was really struggling to get blind eyes down. That became a bit of a problem, and I noticed we were getting a fair few horde units down. So I thought, okay, well, the fix for that is hidden cache, lean even harder into the hordes, and makes it much more consistent. We'll have the blind eyes generated, and the only downside to this is then that sea jackals are required in the list to hopefully hit those tide clerks. We also have a ransacker in there to help with the tide clerks and soul and all these kinds of stuff. And if you've never played this list before, you're just doing solid syndicate things in the early rounds. And what you're looking to do is get to your round 3, where you can get all 5 of your gang tags, or as many as possible, and then just kind of blow them away, because Collusion plays for, I think it's about 22, 23 points if you have all 5 tags. So it's a big, big payoff for what you're naturally already doing. You know, you in a round 3 in like hidden cache, you're gonna play your Passiflora, you're gonna play your Jocks, you're gonna play a Horson, um, and then you just get this payoff on top of the payoff of playing naturally good cards. So I think that's it for us now. That's all 6. Literally yesterday, day before the patch, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to build, and then I put all these together, and it just kind of blurred out. I think there's a lot of interesting things to try out, and I really, really like the look of some of the new cards. Obviously, some look like hot garbage. There's quite a few of the Nilfgaard cards are hot garbage, but yeah, I think we've got a good season ahead, haven't we? Got a good season. So as always, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.